All right, you're still watching Ways on July 19th. National Words with Friends Day recognizes friendly competition and smart wordplay. The celebration also honors the 2009 launch of the popular game franchise. Since before the intervention of the dictionary, people have challenged each other with word puzzles and games. Now, the day honors the intellectual spirit that comes with playing word games. With the advent of the internet, games like Word with Friends introduced us to a world of new level of competition. Not only could we connect with friends through the games we played, but we could also challenge ourselves to new levels of word knowledge with more people than ever before. So whether you play or rather you play to pass the time or take each challenge to heart, July 19th is a day to play some word games with friends. Who is good with words here?
Good with words from the dictionary.
Was it you I played that interview for yesterday? What was he saying? I can't even remember those words.
No, I can't.
I hate it when people communicate and they just bring big grammar. Like, what are you saying? You're not communicating.
Was it a senator? Who was that man?
It was
Senator Patrick.
Yeah,
that's it.
The crankum.
But then everybody can't be the same. I mean, there are those outliers. There are a number of them that I met and I knew that they were a different breed of human beings completely, because even the way they use the words, it's somewhat natural with them. Yeah. Not anybody that is not familiar with using words like that will probably find it very disturbing. But yeah, there are human beings like that.
Yeah. I play Scrabble.
You play Scrabble, yeah. So I mean, I love Scrabble. I love word games. I mean, I like the English language was made for me. It's just a special place in my heart. But yeah, I love Scrabble. I love word games. I find that I get too competitive, so after a while, I just delete the app. I've tried a couple of times to have those apps, and then I'll get into it with one of my friends, and I'll just like,
no, I don't like the competitions. I just pace myself, and when it's all over the place, it's too much. I take some time out and come back in fresh. But it's always good to juggle your brain with words.
Exactly. Keep your brain young. And
so let me start with my story today. The Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria have issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to address various challenges facing the industry. Addressing journalists in Lokoja, Kogi State, the chairman of the association, Gabriel Adeni, stated that the decision to withdraw its services was taken following the myriad of challenges confronting the bakery and catering industry in Nigeria, adding that all efforts made by the association towards remedying them were bluffed by the government and its agencies. So the master bakers and caterers nationwide resolved to down tools and shut down all bakeries from July 20th to 26th of July 2022. So this is wishing all the general public and consumers to expect that, because this would actually happen unfailingly. Amongst the reasons that they are facing is that they include the shortage of raw materials, including cost of materials, over taxation and levies. Since the ban of importation of flour into the country, no serious effort have been made for homegrown wheat as promised by the government and its relevant agencies. He added that the bakers have requested for palliatives in form of soft loans or subsidy to bakers to enable them produce quality and affordable quantity of bread for mass consumption, which was promised but not fulfilled. These challenges facing the association are threatening production of affordable and quality bread to the country. I mean, the bread I used to buy at I think it was 750. I bought it last. Today I bought the bread 1,000 naira. A lot more people are saying that yes, the cost of bread has gone up. I really don't know how this is going, because bread is one of the biggest staple food in Nigeria. Breakfast you can have it, lunch you can have it, dinner you can have it. It's something that people eat per minute per second in Nigeria. So how this would impact the already tough situation when it comes to feeding in Nigeria, food supply. Thank you. I don't know how this would play out, but it's really sad.
It is.
I remember when we used to buy bread for 75
50 naira.
50, 75. Even when it went up to 75 naira, it was like a whole lot. Now, agege bread is not stable food.
It's not.
It's no longer staple food because the materials, to source these materials is difficult. So even the agge grape bread that used to be something that everybody could afford to get, they can't afford to get it anymore. And if it gets to that point where bread, we cannot afford bread, then the situation is really bad.
So give them cake.
The situation
Cake.
is bad.
And that's what
You're talking about.
That's what your one-time first lady had said before.
Cake from where? It's not someone that has money that.
You didn't get the joke.
Oh, okay, I didn't get
bread,
it. Probably.
Bread has gone through a journey. So I was trying to remember how, in the 80s it was Ghana bread. Do you remember Ghana bread? Do you remember Ghana bread? And that was like a substantial loaf. Then the agege bread came in. You would hold a loaf of bread in your hand and you would know you were holding something. And over time, our loaves have, lightened up.
The farm.
You can take a whole loaf of bread and wash it all together.
Finish it at a go.
But these are all signs of these realities. I'm surprised even. I think they actually moved the date of this strike, because I remember reading this story a few weeks ago, and I think it was last weekend I went and I stocked up on bread because I thought that the strike was starting last week after the public holiday. So it was supposed to start right after the public holiday, I think. So I'd read the story way before then. But there's so many factors, and I like that you've touched on some of them. I remember the first day I was talking to a friend of mine who's a baker, and the shock when she was telling me that flour is imported. I said, with all these flour mills, Dangote, what you're telling me? She says, no, we import flour. I'm like, wow. And of course, that's impacted by other global issues that are happening now with, wars in Ukraine and all of that, where they're a major supplier of wheat. So that's impacting. They also talked about the monopoly in the importation of sugar. So needing to address that as well, so to open up the market. The other thing which you mentioned was subsidy, which is the one that I think that we as Nigerians need to condition ourselves out of.
We can't keep
there is fiscal irresponsibility. There is no money. We can't subsidize sugar. We can't subsidize baking, flour. We can't subsidize even petrol. Look at what petrol is doing to us, and look at what it's done to the economy. So, as much as we want things to be easier for people, we need to find ways in which, of course, like we said, we can create competition, allow market forces to set prices. But it's sad. Bread is something that, at every price right now, at least 50 naira, 100 naira, you could find bread. But it seems that even bread is being priced out of the hands of Nigerians.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Sad. What's quickly your story then?
Well, mine is another price hike. I'm sad to say, but this price hike also gives us a little bit of stability. So NNPC quietly approves.
I like that caption.
Quietly approves petrol pump price hike to 179 per litre. So this says that the NNPC has approved an upward review in the price of PMS, which is petrol, from 165 to 179 naira, which is a 24 naira increase, which is 1 naira shy of what the marketers were asking for at 180 naira. They've also increased the ex-depot price from 148 to 167. So remember that during the fuel scarcity, the marketers were saying that there was no depot that was loading for less than 162, some even 165 naira, which of course made it, or 162, which made it unsustainable for them to sell at 165. So they had asked for 180 naira, and of course we all saw the fuel scarcities that came along with that. And in truth, a lot of people have been buying for more than this for quite a while now, 200 naira, all sorts of different prices that have been quoted. So a colleague of mine today was saying that on the mainland there's fuel. As long as you're willing to drive in and pay 200 naira, there's fuel. So this is a step in the right direction. Nigerians have to expect that more of this is going to happen.
Oti, I don't believe that this is a step in the right direction. So when I saw the new price, the new price list, I thought again we're still swimming in the problem, and it's good that we're discussing NNPC today, because already my mom, for instance, says in Kaduna they buy fuel at 220, 240.
Yeah, it's been even I
didn't see it on that list.
Yeah,
so let us be realistic.
So the official price, right, and what the marketers will sell for will differ, because if you are loading at an ex-depot price of 160, what is it now? It's gone to 167, right? Remember that there was, what did the marketers call it? I think it was an 8 or 9 naira additional cost for transportation. And then you talk about the upcountry, which the government is also still paying for. They're subsidizing the transportation of the fuel
to that
upcountry,
parts,
outside of Lagos. So all of these things are costs that we are all bearing as a nation. And so those prices is what makes it more sustainable, which is why I said that this is a step in the right direction, because any increase right now is a step in the right direction. It is not a step in the right direction for your pocket, but for getting us to a place where this industry can really function, and really, because, I mean, what are we talking about today? We're talking about NNPC becoming a national oil company, limited liability company, versus the IOCs, which is the, you know, Chevrons, Mobiles, and all of these other players. You see that it is challenging for those guys to stay in the market. So if we even want to see investment in that industry in Nigeria, we're going to need to move to a higher price. So maybe somewhere around 300 naira, probably.
That's where I'm going.
Where we need to
be. Let's hear number story, because we'll still come back to this NNPC issue.
All right. So my story is about the the fact that UK smashes its hottest day record, and 100 million Americans under alert in global heat emergency. So the heat waves across multiple continents have dashed records, threatened public health, and buckled infrastructure. And currently, the likes of UK are reaching 40 degrees. I mean, for some climes, it's not new. But for them, I had cases of even some Heathrow tarmac melting because of how
in Europe the roads are melting and
waves have been.
Potholes.
So it's really been a crisis in that region, and then it's even making travel difficult. People are here, people are fainting under the weather, and there are a lot of people who are, because they're not used to such temperatures.
They're not built for it. We're talking about this today, and I had spoken to my sister because I received an email from Transport for London to say that, you know, don't take the tube today if you can. Today, Tuesday and Wednesday, I think it was, they said don't take the tube if you can. So we were talking, and I said, this is heat wave for you guys. And I mean, we have heat, but then we're used to air conditioning. In the UK, I mean, America still even has central air.
Yes.
In the UK, there's no air conditioning. They have heaters and boilers in their houses. So
having this kind of crisis, right, they were not prepared for it at all. You're not
equipped for this. Is the times when, you know, people would go to the shops and they'd be beating themselves fighting over the last fan in the shop. So this is really a time where people open their windows, ice cream, and then what happens is that this has a ripple effect because it impacts water as well. So then they have to start rationing water. You can't water your plants. You know, so it has all sorts of effects. And you know, it feels weird because we're in the middle of when you even say we're used to it, you are not even used to it in the sense that imagine how if it was the temperatures that we had now and we didn't have air conditioning at all, then you say, hey, you know, so you're not even used to it.
You know, I saw this comedian, Woli Arole, he took a bucket. On the flip side, he took a bucket and he's outside, he was pouring water. He said everywhere is hot, heat everywhere. But the truth is that this is why I never travel out of the country in summer. I don't understand why I will leave heat. Go meet heat. And people actually pay premium ticket for that. Or you know, people when they like summer, it's because they need the heat. Me, I don't need it.
Well, a lot of people travel during those periods because it's the time where it's the rave one and two longer holidays, so sightseeing in different areas.
Sightseeing in December.
But you know, it's easier to sight. Well, I mean, it depends on your preference, so. But
I actually don't like hot weather. I always love to travel
prefer
in cold
weather actually. But the scientists are also attributing some of these situations to the climate change.
But this is warming.
Oh, sure.
This is in action now.
If attention is not paid to the situation, it will get worse. And they said that these heat waves will happen every 3 years.
It will keep getting. I mean, it's been getting worse progressively. The ice caps are melting. The waters are rising.
This way.
So you know.
Yeah, sorry. Now we're done now. You cares? Let's take a break. Let us discuss the one that concerns us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.